Okay, so let's get started with this project. For the first step of this project, we're going to be tracing our hand. You need to trace your hand on the page 6 times. That's 6 times, not 5, not 4, not 3, not 2, not 1, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10. 6 times, okay? 6 hands. So, let's get started. Before I actually talk about techniques to get all of those hands on the page, I would like to talk to you about basic tracing technique when it comes to tracing our hands. Now, I often see 2 different types of hands that are not what we want. I'm going to call these balloon hands and alien hands, okay? This is not what we want. We want human hands on our page. So this is how these mistakes are often made, okay? A balloon hand is when your drawing utensil does not come into contact with your fingers, when you're just drawing around. This is not what we want. This is a balloon hand. This is not what our hands look like. An alien hand is when the pencil does come into contact with the fingers, which is what we want. We want the pencil to come into contact with our fingers. However, when you create that alien hand, usually your hand is either moving or you're going under your fingers. Or you're doing both of those things. So this is an easier mistake to make because when you're tracing, you need to make contact with your hand and your pencil. Now, balloon hands, that means you're not following directions. I do not want to see this on anyone's page. If I see this on your page, this shows me you are not paying attention during this portion of the lesson. I better not see any balloon hands, okay, friends? Alien fingers, now this is something we can work with. So let's get away from what is incorrect, and I'll show you this one handout really quickly. Balloon hands and alien hands, we do not want. Human hands are what we want. So let's talk about how to achieve this. When tracing your hand, it's important to make sure that your hand is flat on the page. Pretend that your hand goes splat. You don't want your fingers curved like this. You don't want your hands together, okay? Put your hand flat on your page, palm and fingers flat on your page. When you trace, you don't want to dig in your paper with your pencil. You can just go lightly, okay? And make sure that your pencil is touching your hand. But you want your pencil to be up and down. Remember, alien fingers are when you go under, balloon fingers are when your pencil goes out. You want your pencil to be straight up and down, okay? And go slowly, try your best. So I'm going to draw this first hand, but I want you to watch before you begin. Okay? When you get down to the palm, you're going to stop. Ah, look at that nice human hand. Now we are not going to draw arms for this project. No wrist, no arms, okay, friends? We're going to connect at the palm. So we just have floating handprints. So, in tracing our hands, as I stated earlier, we need to have 6 hands on our page. So that means that we need to get creative with our placement. In order to do that, you cannot fit every single hand all the way on the paper. You need to have your hand off of the page at some points. And we're also going to need to rotate our page to make our composition interesting. You don't want all of the hands in the same direction. We want it to be interesting. So let's rotate it around. Now you're going to have your hand in different places. This is where I want you to play around with the placement of your hands. But just to help you out, I will let you watch me do my tracing now. As you can see, I'm going to put a hand over here, and I'm going to have my thumb coming off the page. All of your hands need to overlap, so that means they need to run into each other. You should not have any hands that are on their own on the page. So I have 4 hands on my page and it's starting to look a little crowded, which is okay. This is where you may just want to put some fingers in, and that will count as a hand. So I need one more. I'm just going to add some fingers in here. Why not? This will work. Boop. As long as I see that you've traced portions of a hand all over your page, I have fulfilled my requirements for the tracing portion of this assignment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hands. Now, that doesn't mean I just want to see you trace your fingers on the edges. That will not get you full points. I need to see full hands, partial hands. If you have fingers traced on your page, that should only be for the sake of not overfilling and congesting your space. This was just a decision I had to make in order to get my 6 hands on my page. So please understand, I must see that most of your hands are almost complete hands on your page. So once you have your hands traced on your page, we're ready to move on to step 2.